Fighting is a hard thing to do, and to voluntarily go get punched in the face every week, you gotta be a little insane. It is a whole other level of crazy to take off the gloves and do the same thing. You don't have to like bare knuckle fighting, but you do have to give a lot of respect to the people that get in the ring and do it. I did not think that I would have to give those particular props to Bryce Hall. You know, Bryce Hall, TikTok guy, kind of got famous for just being a punk kid. Yeah, that guy. He signed a contract with BKFC, arguably the biggest bare knuckle promotion in the world, and stepped into the ring against an undefeated fighter. Come on. When you put it that way, you do have to give mad respect for that. This event happened at BKFC 48 in Albuquerque. That happened on August 11th of 2023. This was Hall's first fight in BKFC. His only other fight experience was against Austin McBroom. That was a traditional boxing match. He lost that fight by TKO. McBroom's opponent, G. Perez, is known as the Cut Man. He was coming off of a win at BKFC 45. Perez won that fight by TKO. It only went about one round. However, it did happen in June of 2023, and his fight with Hall happened in August. Pretty quick turnaround, especially for a bare knuckle fight. That might come into play. So here at Round by Round, I don't like to be influenced by the commentary, so I'm going to mute the fight. We're going to look at it, and I'm going to point out what I see, go from there. All right, bare knuckle, they have you start, instead of starting in corners, obviously it's a round ring. They have you start right in the middle. It's to throw back to how it used to be back in the bare knuckle heyday. Pretty slow at the drop, but right here, Hall, he just goes kind of wild. And not a lot of form to it. Knocks Perez down right away though. Can't get much better than that. You can't knock him for it. Perez really isn't hurt here though. He's up, he's moving, he's fine. Not dazed, just kind of got knocked over. I don't really know what Hall's doing with his hands right there. I think he's trying to distract him, maybe feint a little bit. Doing this, I don't know about this, but I don't know. Bare knuckle, different beast. Great left straight by Perez. Really lands flush right on the chin. And yeah, Hall's coming forward again. It's what worked the first time. Perez has him in this clinch. You're allowed to do that in bare knuckle. Tries to do an actual like wrestling takedown. I don't know what that's all about. Perez is clearly he's hurt here. Lands on the back of his head. This could be the beginning of the end, and it's kind of a dirty way to do it. I don't know. I don't know if Hall did that necessarily on purpose. He might have just got excited, got into it. It is what it is. You do see a lot of these like takedowns and crossover influencer boxing. People tend to do that. I don't know what that's all about. I guess when you're starting to get hit a lot and you're backed into a corner, the first thing you think to do is take him to the ground, like in real life, but obviously you can't be doing that. Perez wants to fight him in the middle. Hall is kind of dancing around him. This was an amateur boxing match and Perez didn't get knocked down. He might win the round just from being in the middle like that. Both these guys throw kind of wild. It's a little, but Hall doesn't want to engage. Not here at the end of round one. And then right there, that's it right there, I think. I'll spoil it for you right now. This fight ends by doctor stoppage, I believe. I believe it officially goes down as a TKO. Perez hurts his elbow and can't continue. Let's see where that happens. I believe it happens right about here. He throws something kind of wild and then visibly clenches his elbow. Let's see what happened. It's a little hard to see. I think Hall hits him on his elbow. And maybe that caused him some issues. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what the actual situation was from Perez himself. Getting ready for round number 2. But they call Perez back into the corner to have him looked at. Medical staff's looking at him. They clear him to keep going. Gotta give it up to Perez, you know. It's really easy to be injured and just quit before you have to. Clearly he's a warrior, wants to keep fighting. Good on him. I like the level changes from Perez. He just needs to let his hands go. Yeah, Perez overextends with the right there a little bit, and Hall has to his credit, very good pivot. I don't like that Hall is sticking to the outside. I would like him to fight for the middle a little bit more. And so would Perez, apparently. Yeah, I don't like how Perez slips. It's actually a problem I have. He's slipping on his belt line. He's really putting his head down, leaves you open for an uppercut, puts you off balance. Not great, not great form. A little bit of a slow fight, to be honest. I think that injury at the beginning really slowed Perez down, and Hall maybe just doesn't have the gas tank yet. Not that he's doing bad. He's obviously not. Maybe something to work on for the next one. Yeah, I really just don't like that Bryce Hall is he's shuffling out, he's putting himself out of range to fight, and then when he plants, he's not throwing anything. It's you're not going to score points that way. All right, round 2 is over. I'd honestly probably give that to Perez. I think he was doing more work. Round 1 would go to Hall, and round 1 was a 10-8 round, so Hall is up on the judges' scorecards thus far. But yeah, I would give that one to Perez. Even though I do think the last round went to Perez, I think the momentum was starting to go his way a little bit. He does end up quitting on the stool in between rounds because of the elbow injury. So let's talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. I liked how quickly Hall came out. I just wish that he would have been able to keep that pace up. Now, I do think that if this fight kept going, we might have seen a very different ending. I think Perez was getting warm right at the end there, and I think he was really about to turn things up. We don't live in the universe where that happens, so I can't say for certain, but it's just a feeling. I think the way this fight ended does call into question the fast turnarounds that BKFC seems to have. Perez fought just 2 months prior to this. That's a very quick turnaround, especially for a sport as brutal and as demanding as bare knuckle fighting. And that's not to take anything away from Hall. He still got in there. He still did what he had to do. Still got the win. Props to him. It's just something to consider. The way this ended, though, I would like to see it run back. I think we could have an even better fight the second time around, especially if we start getting into those later rounds. BKFC is on a 10-point must system, so the first round, because of the knockdown, would have been a 10-8 for Hall. Second round, I would do 10-9 for Perez. I think his output was a lot better in the second round, and frankly, Hall was just on the back foot, kind of circling around. Not enough to win it. However, because the fight ended after the second round, I would do this fight 19-18 in favor of Hall if it was to go to a scorecard at that moment. I believe Hall is coming back to BKFC, so we'll have to see what that looks like, see if this was a fluke. I don't think it was a fluke. Maybe a little bit of luck at the end there, but again, nothing but respect. What do you guys think of Bryce Hall and BKFC? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think he's any good? What do you think about him in combat sports in general? We've only seen the 2 fights. First one, not very good, gonna be honest. But, you know, he won the second one. Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, if you like these breakdowns, if you like boxing content, boxing news, all that kind of stuff, you can subscribe and follow for more. Until next time, people.